I'm going to show you how to master your mind. I'm going to show you how to discipline your mind to think in a certain way. Wallace Wattles, in his book, The Science of Getting Rich, states, you don't get rich by doing certain things. Rather, you get rich by doing things in a certain way. And that certain way starts with the way you think. The quickest way for you to control your mind is to use the law of substitution. Now, the law of substitution is really you're substituting one thing with another. So in order for you to master your mind and to think of only the thoughts that you would love to be thinking, it begins with you switching, with you canceling, with you moving in another direction. So it's important that you become aware first, number one, of those regular, habitual ways of thinking that you're in the habit of. For example, to do with money, to do with other people, to do with your business, to do with clients. It would be most helpful you write out what is your current usual statements you say about these things. And then I want you to write out contrary thoughts to what you've just written. You could write out the complete opposite. And then you're going to train your mind like an untamed monkey that's just joined the circus. You literally have to do this. And you do this with repetition, 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 until it becomes a new pattern of thinking. You basically are creating, what do they call them? New pathways in your mind. You're building new brain cells to think in a certain way. So for example, if you're constantly saying to yourself, oh, my bank account is low. Oh, I hate living like this. Oh, I better go careful spending money. Oh, I'm just so tired that, money doesn't seem to flow to me. Write those thoughts down. Then you write the opposite, which would be that I love money. Money loves me. Money is God in action. God is the source of my supply. I love writing out that money is constantly circulating in my life and there's always a divine surplus. Another one of mine is my income is constantly increasing. Another one is that people and companies love to give me large sums of money just for being me. So I write out maybe 5 or 6 statements of positivity about the one subject that's the bugaboo all the time, the bugaboo all the time. And then when those old negative thoughts come up, I suddenly say, get out of here, switch, cancel, and use the law of substitution to go to those thoughts that I'm not in the habit of thinking of regularly. So I say switch, and then I go on the rampage, a rampage of saying those over and over again until I feel more hopeful. I feel inspired. I feel better about money. And then I'll get on with my day, and then something else will happen to do with money. And then I go back to saying those thoughts again. I say those thoughts again. And over time, I'll be honest with you, the first day is the hardest. And then the next day it gets easier because those old negative thoughts take a while to die down. They take a while to dissipate, to not be so loud and persistent. But I keep going, saying these new thoughts. And then I've noticed that I'm automatically starting to say these new thoughts about money. And then I feel more restful, relaxed, especially when I use God affirmations, when I keep saying that God is constantly increasing my income. Oh, that makes a huge difference, an absolute huge difference. Let me close the door. So It's Monday morning here, and guess what? The garbage men's come to visit here in Australia. So it's the law of substitution all the time. For example, your business might be really slow at the moment. So you write out the thoughts of, oh God, times are tough. Where am I going to get clients? Oh, I'm sick and tired of living like this. I mean, that strategy was meant to work. What do I need to do now? Oh, I don't like networking. Oh, I've got to go to that networking event. So this is your current inner dialogue. Now, go and write out how you want to feel about your business. What are the thoughts you'd love to say about your business? Oh, my business is booming. Everybody wants to work with me. Oh, I have the best product in the world. I am an expert in what I do. Everybody wants to work with me. My business is advancing, progressing, and getting better and better. You can make up whatever you want, okay? But make sure it resonates with you, right? And then when these thoughts come up about your business, when you look at your sales sheet or your profit margins, and these negative thoughts come up about the business, then switch to these new thoughts about your business. So this is called the law of substitution. You're substituting something of a lower nature for something of a higher nature. And I tell you, the more often you do it, at first, it's going to be hard yakka, as we say in Australia, hard yakka doing it. But those old negative thoughts will die. They will disappear. And then your new pattern, your pattern of thinking, the thinking in a certain way will become habitual. And this is when you are going to notice a huge difference. Your results are going to change on the outside. So if this is resonating with you, leave your comments. I love having a bit of a banter with you. And if you would love support in helping you master your mind, then book a complimentary call with me so I can support you with some ideas like this for you to get unstuck in order for you to move forward now on different subjects that are getting in the way of you living a glorious life.